Now, it's time for the Anchormen podcast with Matt Gaetz and Dan Ball.
We got 3 adult children. Our oldest, our son's a graduate of Morehouse. Hey, thank you, but don't clap. We broke. We ain't got no money. 6'4", 220, no athletic ability. That's what I get for being on top when he was conceived. Started off at D1 and just tripled out as community college kid. I'm sorry, that's nasty. I did that was kind of nasty. That was graphic. It just tripped right out. They did, man. That's what happens when you're on top. But he tried to play football in high school. He's a freshman. He came home. Dad, I made the football team. Coach said I won't play much, but that's okay. I just want to be a good teammate. I'm like, kill yourself. Don't you know whose seed you are, man? And how does Alex Wong get on the court before you, man? What's wrong with you? We never had to wash his uniform. I'm like, Luke, could you at least fall in the dirt, look like you played? My wife used to get mad because I used to sit in the car and watch the game. I'm like, why are you sitting in the car? Because he's sitting down, damn it.
Welcome back to the Anchorman podcast. I'm Matt Gaetz here alongside my on-again, off-again employee, Vish, and we believe we have found the funniest man in California. Vish and I were at the Comedy Store in La Jolla, and we heard a set that had Vish laughing so loud they almost asked him to leave a comedy club. It was that disruptive. And Lewis Dix is a legend. This guy lived through the golden era of sitcoms, hanging with Mr. Cooper, done collaborations with D.L. Hughley, now got a killer podcast. It's a Man's World, which, I mean, this is the collaboration we've been needing on Anchormen. But Vish, tell us more about Lewis and how we were able to get him to come hang out with us for a little bit.
Well, as soon as I saw the set, obviously, after I gathered myself from all the laughing that I did, we knew that we had to have him on the show. I approached him. It was super humble, gave me his number. We stayed in contact. And as I did my research on him, realizing he's done these USO tours all over the world. He's done Nights at the Apollo, historic venue in Harlem, New York. And, and then the Laugh Factory as well. And I'm just like, oh, we got to get this guy. He's been on the scene forever. So we are so proud to have you, Lewis, on the show today.
Well, thank you for having me. I was like, when I got your call, it was really interesting. I'm like, Vish. And I always put a note, okay, comedy club, okay. And then you said Matt, and I thought it was a comedian named Matt that didn't have.
This is a comedian named Matt. You were right.
And I was like, so then my wife's like, well, look it up. And I said, oh, Matt Gaetz. And she was like, yeah, that guy. And I was like, yeah, that's the guy that was getting ready to beat up McCarthy. I said, yeah, he was the one that was surrounded by all the old head bullies.
Yeah.
Because that's how it looked when on TV. It looked like all the old head bullies would get ready to punch you, and you're like, all right.
And you know why? Because they just wanted their money. Do you see some massive sense of urgency in Congress now or ever to do almost anything? But you see, they can't get that money train rolling to them until they've put somebody in that leadership post who can then extract millions of dollars from lobbyists and special interests and then redistribute that money to congressmen in exchange for favors. Like, that is how it works. And that's why we don't get a lot done. We're a ton in debt. And we get in wars everywhere, and was sick of it. So that's what I.
Oh, it was fun to watch for us because we weren't in trouble. So our people weren't in trouble, so we were good. And then I knew Vish from the blue suit walking down the hall with Santos, and I knew he could fight.
Yeah, right.
I was like, all right, he looked like he can fight. And then I'm talking to him, I'm like, oh yeah, he can fight. So that was cool. The research was cool. And then shout out to you, Charlie Ward.
Oh,
with the burning spears.
Yeah.
Burning spears.
Charlie Ward, one of the greatest human beings to walk the planet Earth, in my view.
Yeah, and you helped get him the Heisman.
I didn't do that.
Well, you guys started the whole promotion.
But yeah, it was an organization committed. His on-the-field play is what got him the Heisman. But incredible Christian, takes a lot of time coaching young people. Charlie Ward went on to the New York Knicks got in all kind of trouble. They said he was anti-Semitic. And then he gets up at this press conference and he said, I could not possibly be anti-Semitic because my best friend is Jewish and his name is Jesus Christ. And he sat down.
Amazing.
I loved him. So, Lewis, I want to get a bunch of you have so many great observations about life, family, fatherhood, marriage. I'm dying to get your advice on a bunch of this stuff. But as you look at this awesome career you've had in comedy and in performance, what are the highlights that you reflect on?
Well, I mean, I guess it starts from making the decision to do comedy, because when I first started, I was theater major at Sonoma State, and I came down to LA, and acting was just rough. And it was around, in the 90s. So then I started doing stand-up comedy, and I started off like everyone else with Martin Lawrence and Dave and Chris Tucker, and everyone was cursing, and I was cursing too. And then I was like, that's a long line.
Yeah.
So then I said, okay, I'm going to switch, and I'm going to get in the line with only Sinbad and Dr. Cosby, and I'll get their hammy-ups. So I strategically said, okay, I'm just going to do clean comedy. And I had to get my rhythm. And then I met a producer from the show A Different World, and he asked me if I ever thought about doing television warm-ups. And I didn't know what that was. And I had an acting gig on Amen, and I saw Ray Combs. I don't know, rest in peace. Ray Combs used to host one of the shows he used to host, and he ended up committing suicide. And I was like, okay, I can do warm-up. So I started doing warm-up. And that was a time back in, I guess, the early 80s, when you came to watch a sitcom, it's usually elderly white men doing the warm-ups. And then when the Cosby Show came in A Different World, they started inviting younger black people. So they needed a younger black warm-up. So I got that gig, and then I was able to, you get benefits, great pay, and you're only 3 times a week, and then you can go work on your stand-up. So I didn't have to curse. So that's how I just started doing, and I started opening up for people like Ray Charles, the Righteous Brothers, because they didn't want any dirty comics. So I started getting all those gigs, and I do like the Mark Twain Awards now, the warm-up for that. So I just carved a niche, and then now I feature for people like Guy Torrey and Craig Robinson, and then I do my 25, 30 minutes. But it's a great life. I got to be with my kids, raise them, coach. I coach basketball at Harvard Westlake, so I'm an assistant coach because I have to leave a lot. So.
Are your kids on your team?
No, my son is 30 now, and our daughter's 28.
Did you ever coach the team?
Yeah, I coached my son.
So I mean, that's got to be like borderline conflict of interest, because you can't go right. If your kids are good and you play your kids, all the other parents are mad at you. And if your kids suck, they figure, why is this guy the coach? Your kids suck.
And he was good. And then you're talking about the 30-30 kids, and the 30-30 kids are the ones who play when you're up 30 or down 30.
So like what in all of your coaching, do you have like a quintessential experience with a helicopter parent or something that highlights the strife sometimes of that often voluntary exercise?
And it's usually interesting that it's the mother.
Oh.
Not the dad, because you get into this male thing, like I can handle the dads. But when the mom comes and she says, because what happened was the kid, we had to change, we were white instead of black. So he had on black shorts. I said, hey, go change your shorts. So he started to change right there. And I was like, no. He said, I got on tights. I said, no, go in the bathroom. And the mother's like, he can change right there. I was like, no, he can't. Well, I changed, and I'm a girl. I'm like, he can't. So then he went and changed because he listened to the coach. And then the mom next week, she had him quit the team.
Wow.
Because he wasn't allowed to take his clothes off at the basketball game?
And I tried to tell her, it's like, why'd you do that? So because later on in life, he's going to think he can do that, and then he's going to expose himself.
Was he a 30-30 kid, or could he play?
Yes, he was. He was a 30.
Well, then you didn't mind.
No, I didn't mind. Well, the other kids who were playing, who didn't have money to pay for the club team, yeah, they were upset because they had to start paying money. Because you got a certain amount of kids in club basketball who pay, and then you got a couple top 3 kids who are really good, and they don't pay.
Listen, I mean, you got to bring something to the party.
Yes.
Your pay or your play.
That was the thing. But my son enjoyed it, and he went to Harvard, then went to Morehouse, and now he's, working. And then our daughter is, well, you heard the whole thing. That part is true.
So I am about to be a parent. I got that coming in life. So what should I expect? Give me the lowdown.
Congratulations to you and Ginger.
Man. Thank you.
I see she hyphened.
Yeah, well, she she's like George Santos. She has a work name and a home name.
Yeah, good. So, do you know what you're having?
We're having a boy.
Congratulations, you got that out the way.
Yeah.
Because girl's tough.
I heard.
Yeah, girl's tough. Boy is good though, because you got that out of the way. How many months?
We're on the clock.
Good for you. It's going to be a great experience. It's the best thing. Yeah, you just.
What should I worry about?
Well, don't worry about anything because she's going to do that. So you don't have to worry about that. All you have to do is just get up. Do that. I got it, honey. I got it, honey. I got it, honey. Because you eliminate that you never did this. You got to eliminate those, because you're newly married.
Sounds like you're becoming a slave in your own house.
Yeah, you have to eliminate, okay, you never did this. You never did that. No, she has to say, he got up every time the baby cried. He got up every time. Whenever I needed something, he got up. So that's how, and then after 10, 15 years, you're in.
10 or 15 years.
Yeah. That's all it takes. She's got to tell all her friends who aren't as happy as her that this is why I'm happy. Because they're miserable.
My wife is great. I love her to death. But with most women, I think they basically want three things from a man. They want you to make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. They want you to look good. And then they kind of want you to have like the good parent husband traits.
Right.
And most men could do one of those three things well. And really great guys can do two of them well. And all they hear about is the one thing that they don't like. Right. You got some poor schmuck who's got washboard abs, great dad. All his wife's complaining about is that he doesn't make enough money. You've got some rich guy who is a great husband, but all his wife's going to complain about is that he's overweight.
Yes.
So you got to get through that a little.
But that's what they do, and that's why they. God bless them, have OBGYNs. They get to talk about that. Or we don't get that conversation, what's going on inside them.
Do you tip the OBGYN? I didn't know this. I mean, it feels, it's got the whole energy of getting your shoes shined. They get the legs up in the stirrups.
Yeah, Dr. Hendricks, it's amazing the connection that they have with their OBGYN. Because you sit there and you have no connection with him, except he knows your wife. And you just okay, and he's smiling, happy, he's easy go, so and you're sitting there, because my wife is like, we got to go see Ricky. I'm like, yeah, I don't know Ricky like that. Can we call him Dr. Hendricks, But it's just certain things you have to do with your, because you love him. And the whole thing about being married is you have to be selfless. It's not about you. It's not about, now that's why they give us these man caves. But you're good to go, though, because you have a place to come to.
Yeah, work.
Yes.
And that's a good thing in a marriage.
Yeah.
And I've always said to my wife, I always want her to have a job. And it's not even about the financial picture of the family so much as I need her to have another project, so I am not the project.
Right. Yeah, I'm lucky. My wife's a detective. So she's I'm good. She's
Lewis,
been 25 years, so I'm good.
Oh no,
She's got the Glock, and she won't tell me where her backup weapon is in the house.
Way to bury the lead.
No, that is. I mean,
how do you even date a detective?
They're vulnerable. So when I caught her, she was, and I was hot in the 90s. So
yeah, that's right.
So I was hot,
coming off the stage with Apollo.
White sneaks, so she's like, all right. Then I had that projection of a great guy,
right.
And then I knew, I kind of got into women with badges and guns. That turned me on.
Same.
And then she's small, so I was like, oh, you like women with?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You're Miss Officer, Lil Wayne. Come on, I plan to be on, that's on repeat.
Yeah, I don't know Lil Wayne, but, I'm Nancy Wilson and Michael Frank. But,
okay.
But yeah, it was, we found a mutual understanding, and she's in charge in her way, and I get to travel and come back home.
Do you get a dad veto? I've heard about this where if the family operates like a herd of elephants behind a matriarch, but they're you hold a dad veto, wherever you can just be no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, the rule is you have to collaborate on the big decisions.
Okay.
Small decisions you get to make, but you have to be consistent.
Do you get a dollar amount threshold? Anything under that, you're clear?
Well, if it's a house, car, she's going to do it. She's going to decide. The house is going to be her decision. It's going to be her house, a girlfriend's house. You might have, I got a bathroom. That's my bathroom.
Good.
And I got a small refrigerator that my buddies can go in. They can't go in. They can't use the glasses and none of that. And that's okay. When her girlfriends come over, they run the house and you just go in the back. That's why you create your own space. And you have to have a friend that they trust, because then you can go over his house.
I am not that friend for most of my friends. That's why I have to hang out with single guys, because I am the friend where all the wives are like, "You're not hanging out with Matt Gaetz."
But it works because you set your friend up. He has to go to certain events. She has to see his home. She has to see that he won't make you go out and all that. Okay. And now it's easy because they got the cell phone, and they know all you got to do is give up your location.
By the way, I gave that up early, and at first, and this is like the decision you make with a partner where they can track your every move by your phone. And at first I was like, oh, this is kind of an invasion of my privacy. But, it was important to my wife, so I let her track the location. And it has been so helpful all the times I've lost my phone. Like, I don't regret the decision at all. I am happy about it. But let me posit this theory, and you can agree or attack it. Actually, every woman in 2025 is a detective.
Yes.
Their tools to like find out like who you went on one date with 6 years ago on social media, a comment you had on an ex-girlfriend's page, like they know the full dossier on any man by about date number 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's your generation. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. Well, I actually have a first-hand experience with this. I'm usually the friend that, when all my friends want to go out and have fun, they usually say, "Oh, I'm going out with Vish," because they feel like I'm a safe option or whatever. Well, one night we did. Me and my buddy, we went out with him without his girlfriend, and he said, "Hey, let's not share any pictures. Let's not do any social media. Let's just have fun, go out." And obviously, we're at this club drinking. There's girls everywhere, etc. And me being the dummy and the clout Diablo that I am, I do take some footage on Snapchat, and I made sure, I tried my best to keep my friend out of the footage, right? So that he wouldn't be in there. And then I posted on Snapchat, and then about 10 minutes later, my buddy's phone starts blowing up, and he looks over at me, he goes, "Did you share something on Snapchat?" I said, "Yeah, but I made sure you weren't in it." And he's like, "Well, my girlfriend's blowing me up saying that I'm out hanging with girls with Vish." And I told her that we were just going to get dinner. And I'm like, "Look, you're not," look, I showed him. I was like, "You're not in any of the footage." And he held that for a second, and then he gets a follow-up text, and it's a screenshot of one frame of the video that I put up with a red circle around his ear. And she goes, "That's your ear."
See, I couldn't do that.
That's forensic files.
Yeah, and I that blew it up. But yeah, did literally FBI level investigative work from women these days.
But that's your generation, and I feel sorry for you because our generation, we're old. We had rotary dial phones, so we don't have to worry about. You can tell when your wife is going to take a picture because she has to say "hold still," and then if she wants to see something, and internet, I just give it to my son. Delete that,
Right?
or delete that, and they just because they don't like cops anyway, so they don't even like their mom. But yeah, that's. But we respect police in our home, though. They have the toughest.
Well, yeah, it is. I think it's a generational thing, and I think it's going to evolve into like even young people running for office with such a giant digital footprint of so much stuff out there. As you're a young man, millennial, Gen Z person growing up, when you get to 35, 40, maybe you run for office or something, and then they go bring up a treasure trove of your Instagram posts and your Twitter posts and whatnot. And, I think that it's going to be an interesting run for my generation.
But I think that can make us more forgiving. I think as people get overexposed, like we all start to realize everyone's done some dumb stuff and put it on social media, and we're not so chastened by it. People aren't as pearl clutching, and that really dovetails into where comedy stands today, because we saw such a push like against Chappelle and others who spoke about politic issues and were politically incorrect. But now it does seem to be like recentering a little bit, where you could tell jokes and not get canceled for it. Am I wrong about the trajectory of that, Lewis?
No, I think if it comes from a biographical point of view, then you're able to have more to say. Like when Dave said that he went to the country he went to, the Philippines, and then he was able to talk about transgenders in that way. So I couldn't really talk about gay stuff until my daughter came out. Then it allowed me a license to say, this is what I'm discovering. And then you learn as a comedian to play confused instead of hate. That's where you get in trouble. When you say, I hate this, or I don't like this, as opposed to say, I'm confused. Now let's talk about it. I'm confused about it. This is what's happening in my home. So once it's in your home, once you experience it, you can talk about it from a factual point of view. Like I'm reading a book right now called Trans, because our daughter is now dating a trans guy. Jack is his name, and he's trans. So I started reading the book because I'm going to talk about it. And she was like, well, you need to be factual. And I said, well, can I be funny first? so now I'm reading it, and there's some funny stuff, but you want the trans person to laugh, and you want the non-trans person to laugh, and you want some people who don't understand it to understand it. I'm not going to hate on it, but it is, because she started off as a lesbian, and now she's dating trans. So my buddy is like, yo, man, at least she's moving back towards guys. And that's what you have to look at, that she teases me. I'm glad you're reading the book. I'm glad, we're our son. And it was the truth. My truth was, when she told us, I was like, all right, as long as it's not your brother, because you can bounce back as girls, boys. Yeah. So I was like, okay. And so we have discussions, and you have to be not welcoming, because you're not as welcome, because my brother-in-law is going through it, and he's a preacher.
Oh, wow.
His daughter. So
Well, going through what?
Going through his daughter saying she's gay.
Okay.
So now,
not trans, but gay.
Yeah, but
because like those are not the same thing.
I'm not on that chapter yet.
Oh,
I'm not on that chapter yet. As soon as I get to that chapter, then I can have an opinion.
Yeah.
And I agree. I just don't want to. Well, one, you don't want to upset the home, because just like you were saying, you want to make sure your home is a place you can go back to and be safe. Yeah. Then after you get the knowledge, and you can go out to the world and say, this is what I'm doing. But comedy right now is just at a point where some guys are good enough to where they can say what they want. There's a guy named Corey Holcomb who can just say what he wants. I don't know if
Love
you know.
Corey, yeah.
He's 5150. He's just raw. And okay, you have to have a raw personality. And if you don't, then you can't say certain things, like Kevin Hart has a different, it's what you're selling. Mm-hmm. I'm selling family comedy with an edge and with knowledge, and that's what I want to include everyone. I don't want to isolate. I don't want to be typical. I don't want to do comedy 101. So I want to just take it to another level, to where you're like, oh, okay, that if it's a doctor out there and he understands OBGYNs, and he understands if you have a daughter, you got to wipe front to back. Okay.
Well, my guy has always been Patrice O'Neal in that, rest in peace.
Yeah.
But yeah, Patrice has kind of been that guy from my generation. I think Corey's just a little before that.
Yeah,
but,
elephant in the room.
But do you think that comedy is a censored medium today? Because what you're describing is people self-directing their brand. And that's a very different thing than comedy clubs or networks or whomever saying you have to have a particular viewpoint, you have to exclude certain types of content in order to get the money.
I think for the live performance, especially now that they're locking up phones, you don't. When you put something on TV, then you actually have to think about, in the editing room, I should cut that. I shouldn't say that, because they might say that. They might come after me.
But at the clubs.
Yeah, the clubs, we're getting back to saying what you want.
What do you think brought us back?
Just people being tired of being censored, being tired of saying, can I hear what he's saying first? Can you just, okay, I'm old enough. I'm over 21. I'm having a drink, and now I can't hear what he's saying? Am I that? And then if it's someone next to you that's sensitive, like, well, why'd you come out? Why'd you? What world? This is the world. It's capital W-O-R. I mean, I'm with the public school. You dropped out. I know you know how to spell world.
W-O-R-L-D.
So yeah, you just have to understand that TV is different. Network TV is different. Cable's different. Netflix, they still censor people. They take things out. Certain things that they want to say. You'll talk to comedians, and you're like, man, I can't believe they took that out. Man, I can't believe that. I wanted that. By the
way, that used to happen to me on interviews on networks too, because on some of these news networks, not ours, which is 100% owned by our proprietor, Mr. Herring, but on some news networks, they're so in debt to businesses, hedge funds, foreign governments in some cases, that the people have to say certain things. And if you get an opposing viewpoint, they'll cut that out. And then the people don't even get the benefit of clash. Like, when I grew up, it was the Republicans who were trying to tell you what you couldn't talk about. Right. And they were always getting this or that, off TV. There's the whole moral majority thing that was on the political right. And now it kind of seems like it's the left that's always telling people what they can't talk about. And I think people are just naturally resistant to that.
Yeah, it's just like having too many parents.
Yeah.
I got a mom, I got a dad. Now, you get that a lot in, especially as an African American or just a boy. You have so many female teachers trying to tell you how you should be as a boy. You know, like when the boys are outside in the yard, they're gonna jump on each other.
Yeah.
And first thing, a female teacher, don't jump. And you got to tell them. I got to say, hey, let them jump. That's what they do. Just like you women talk, they're jumping. They have to wrestle. That's how they become firemen and policemen, and that's how they become soldiers, because that's what they do. Now, if you don't let them do that, then
They become Jack.
see, that's mean. That's funny, though. No, that's funny. No, that's factual, and that's funny.
Yeah.
That's factual. That's funny. Jack's been in the weight room, though. Jack's
You're
getting jacked.
gonna have to be careful around Jack soon enough.
And I met Jack. I just met Jack. We had lunch, and Jack has to. All my daughter's friends have to meet mom and brother first. Then I get.
Oh, so you back clean. You have a pre-vet system.
Yes.
You get a report back from mom and brother?
No, they just don't want. She just doesn't want them to meet me first because I would say what you were saying. That Jack, and then because my daughter's like, all right, nothing inappropriate, Dad. Then I'm like, so when I first met Jack, I was like, hey, you got great teeth, Yeah, all right. And then I was like, because it was funny because I went to hug him, but then I was like, okay, he's Jack now, so let me shake his hand. But then I was like, hey, can I hug you? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right. Then I caught myself because I was like, Dad, you hug soft, Jack. And my daughter's like, that's one.
At the intro, too. You're burning one on the intro.
Right. So I'm like, all right. But good thing you raised her. And that's the thing of that's one of the most important things, being a parent.
Yeah.
Is be present. You got to be present. You got to, because mom will take her up to school. You got to take her up to school. The kids have to see you on campus. Because then the boys and the girls know that she has a mom and dad, and they have to treat her a certain way or treat him a certain way.
All right. So with a boy, what's like the hardest part of raising a boy? You've done that. You sent one to Harvard, and
the toughest thing with a boy is they believe everything when you're first growing up, and you have to be consistent. One thing you have to do as far as, like, my dad was just Googled at every woman that he saw.
I know the type.
So, and I made a decision not to do that. Even though a girl walked by and she was fine, I had to force myself, don't look. I don't want him thinking like that. Okay, I got to do that. That's the first thing. Another thing was, I'm going to open the door for your mom. I'm going to close the door for your mom. Hey, get the door for your mom. Let's get these chores. Certain things that I need you. Okay, let's learn how to change this tire. Let's learn how to do a bicycle. Let's learn how to see what this is. So around the house, because I don't need you coming to me saying, hey, Dad, how do you do that? And this is a reflection of me. So I taught him all the little things I know. And then once he reaches a certain age, you have to try not to knock him out. Because once he gets up there, you got to figure out, how am I going to deal with this testosterone? I'm going to ignore you. Okay, man, you're emotional right now. We're not going to talk about it right now because I don't want to be upset. Because if I'm upset, I'm going to win. And then listen to her saying, don't say that to him. Hey, listen, this is me. I know me. He is me. Okay, now that goes back to you being there all the time. Now she can't take that away from you. Because if you're not there, she's like, you don't know him because you're never there. You're always somewhere. Well, you can't use that on me.
So do you have like a policy on when mom and dad have a disagreement? Does that go to a separate room for resolution? Do you resolve that in front of the kids? Is it impractical to think you can never fight in front of your kids?
No, sometimes I wasn't going to be a yeller like my dad, but I don't want to talk about it right now is what men say. I don't want to talk about it right now, but they want to talk about it. Let's discuss this. Can we eat first? No, we need to discuss it now in front of them. Yes, they need to hear it because they got to grow up soon. Okay. Really? Let's just go in the room. And then hopefully your kids are smart enough to say, we don't want to hear it. Go upstairs and talk. So that's the kind of kids we have. But yeah, you do. You work hard at not, but it's going to happen.
Conflict happens in any, I don't fear that, because I think my wife and I have really good conflict resolution skills. And I would want to display those to my son. I would want him to see, there are times where people don't agree and you need to listen to the other person. You need to acknowledge that, there's clarity in your viewpoint as well that you need to share. And, I don't know, maybe they need to see how the sausage is made a little.
Yeah. And I do a thing where I try to make it funny. And of course, my wife's like, everything's not funny. And then I'll have a thing that I use whenever she's upset in front of the kids. I say, oh, you just want to kiss. That's all.
You just turn on the Romeo.
Yeah, you just want to kiss. That's all. And she's like, no, I've had enough kisses from you. That's why we have these kids. And then she'll flip it back, But they know she has a disposition and she has a calmness because she's been on the streets and she has a gun and she could take someone's life. So she has an inner thing, but she's still a woman. Sorry to generalize, but women are women. You can't can't get around that. They're going to be emotional. They're going to try you. They're going to try to find your weaknesses. And that's the beauty of that. Because as men, we have no weaknesses. We have no weaknesses. Let's be honest. We have.
Amen.
But I think that like when you get the right girl, she shows you those weaknesses and you actually work to improve them. Like there's so many men out there, and our audience, it's a lot of young men who watch our program, and they want that traditional wife. And when they meet the right girl, it's like, oh shoot, like I need to start going to the gym. Oh man, if I want to really date this person, I've got to get better grades, or I've got to start thinking about my future in more compelling ways. I think that it can be one of the great drivers of a man to like have a woman urging them on, but with the acknowledgement of those weaknesses and frailties.
Yeah, because they'll throw therapy at you.
No.
We have to have therapy.
No. I'm not playing this game with a referee. We're doing Lincoln Douglas style. I'm not bringing a referee into my marriage. No. I didn't marry some therapist or some referee.
Yeah.
It's going to be me and my wife, ride or die.
Yeah, and nothing funnier than you going to a therapist and that therapist has been divorced 3 times. That's what we're doing. We're going to listen to her failures? Really? This is what we're doing? That's a true story. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Oh, you think you can fix everything? You know what? I'm going to try, but I'm not paying her. Insurance gives us 5 visits. Okay. All right. So they have the answer.
And by the way, the therapist's only job in those 5 visits is to get you to pay for the 6th one.
Right. Have you come back for 5?
No one's ever like, hey, you were cured in 5.
Right.
We got you in. They're like, oh, we have unpacked some things with Lewis that are going to require months of extensive treatment.
Oh, yeah. They try. Okay, I'm going to see her 5 times, then see you 5 times, then you guys come together. No.
That's a logistical nightmare.
No, I got buddies. No. My buddies, Fat Paul, Peanut, and Boogie. They can get it.
That sounds like divide and conquer.
But this is the therapy generation. These kids, the Zoomers. Did your kids ever try to like drag you into some sort of therapy situation?
Tell them all the time now that I'm in therapy. I'm not. I just
yeah.
tell my daughter that. And she's like, that's great. So yeah,
get you some dad points.
Yeah, just working on some things. She can't verify it.
No, it's a HIPAA violation.
That's true. That's true. No, but it's good.
But on the therapy thing, I've had many, mostly women, tell me, "Oh, Vish, you need to go to therapy. You need to go to therapy." And I'm like, I've always believed like therapy is something for people without friends that they can confide in. I have a problem. I go to a good friend of mine who knows me well, who's known me over the years, and I'm able to express, hey man, this is what I'm going through. This is my problem. They'll just give it to me raw, based on how they know me, what they know, what I've been through, and all that, how I am behind closed doors, etc. But I just can't fathom like walking into a therapist's office and just like spilling your guts out to someone who you don't even know.
I just have to say, if a woman is telling you that you need therapy, there is a non-zero part of her that wants to date you, and who figures that if just like some stuff was just fixed a little bit, that you might be like salvageable as a partner. So that's a clear tell. I know homies who are in therapy with just their girlfriends, and I'm like, what? Like you're not even married? Like you can leave at any time, and you're on a therapy run with this chick?
That's amazing. Now we're at a point now where girlfriends get wives clout, and before they didn't.
Oh,
you see the guys on TV with their girlfriends. It's like, yo, she doesn't get on TV. She's just a girlfriend. But she's sitting right there with you doing the draft, and you're like, yo, man, she's a girlfriend, man. Now what you gonna do? She's getting this kind of clout as a girlfriend. As a wife, she's getting your mother's maiden name, your social security number. You're done.
It's all about managing expectations, and you can't put too much. You can't go too hard too early in a relationship. Those first few dates, like you almost need to display some things that you can fix, so you're showing some progress along the way.
Yeah,
it's the way.
That's how you figure guys who are just mean keep a girl.
And too many do.
Yes,
I believe every single man on the planet Earth is either an affirmer with women or a degrader. There's every single man treats their relationship with women as trying to build that woman up or try to move them down in some sort of competitive thing. And the way the degraders continue to like bag tens and hang out with amazing women who put up with that crap is wild.
It's amazing. You just say, man, what am I doing wrong? But,
What's Vish doing? What are you doing wrong, Vish?
I think just not being like available or not being present. You know, a lot of times my excuse, it's like, oh yeah, I'll see you next week. Oh yeah. Someone invited me out for like beers the other day. Haven't gotten back to her, right? Like that. It's just not being available is generally my problem. I think. But you know, this maybe there might be other.
You got
issues.
a Hinge account recently.
I did. I'm not. Well, okay. So I re-downloaded Hinge. And then I put up my profile info, kept the pronouns out, of course.
The profile pic is key. Like, do you include like other friends who are attractive people?
No.
A cityscape?
Well, no, my opening is like one of my best shots from one of the galas. No, one of the galas. It's a great shot. It's my Jay Gatsby pick, as I call it. But what I try to do is I try to show like different scenes from my life, right? So like one on a boat. That means like you might end up on a boat if you end up dating me, right? It's like one in like a really beautiful hotel in New York in the vestibule or whatever. It's like you might end up here, right? And so yeah, I try to show different scenes in my life to be like
that you want
your
the woman
social
to place
life
herself in.
Right.
Scene.
It's like, oh, I want to be there. I want to be there. I want to be there. So that's what I do. I try to remove as many friends as possible. Definitely no girls because you don't want them getting jealous off the bat.
Yeah, but I know guys who say that like having the the sister who's there or having showing that you have friends who are women,
right,
is a certain threshold that you're not you're not a threat,
right.
Don't know,
maybe I'd have to get one like petting a dog or hiking or something. That's going to require a lot
you
from
almost
my
died
end.
the last time you went hiking.
Exactly.
There's still an incident report out on that.
Precisely.
So California seems to be a tougher place than most to like raise kids. This ain't Mayberry out here. There's some guy shooting up on the side of the road. The way they have the homeless tolerance here is foreign to me as a Florida man. So here in California, did you find the experience easier or different than maybe it would have been in other parts of the country?
Well, being from Philly, you start from within, and that means in the house. So you start controlling your family within the house. This is what we do. We're having dinner. This is time there. We're having summer reading. So certain things, you're going to be in sports. You're going to do this. You're going to do something. So if you have a good wife, that helps. Because then she does some part, you do the other part. But then you start controlling their friends. Okay, you can hang out with this person, no sleepovers, you can't do that. You got to stay here. And, no. You don't sit on another man's lap. You sit down. We don't do that. Honey, I don't do that. I don't mean to offend you, but I don't need her thinking that she can sit on any man's lap. That's not happening, okay? Because next thing she's on a pole. And we're not doing that. So... okay, and then you start.
So a threshold issue for a father is keeping them off the pole
all day long, and now anything else that's negative. So you just start controlling things that
nobody's getting on the pole with Jack. So
he's good.
Yeah, that was good. That was 1, 2, 3. If you do it in 1, 2, 3, it's there. So poor Jack. My daughter's gonna be like, I can't believe you said those things about Jack. Jack laughed, so we're good.
I'm guessing your daughter's a regular viewer of the Anchorman podcast. Could be, but
she's she's in New York. She's in Brooklyn, and she's she's writing, and she has her own podcast, and she's of that generation where she can laugh at herself. She's funny, and she's a truth teller. She curses a lot, but that's from her mom. But just back to the thing of just making sure that you control their friends, and then you control their environment. And then my son was acting up one time, and he was getting in trouble. So we stripped his room, left him just a bed, sheet, one pair of shoes, 2 pair of pants, and said, this is what it's going to be like in jail. Because if you act this way, you're going to end up in jail, and this is all you get. So we did it for 6 months.
6 months?
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't have child protective services on you.
It was, he never forgot it. And then my daughter one time, so when the phones came out, she took a picture of her bosom. So I printed it up and put it all over the house. She was totally embarrassed. I said, oh, no, you want everyone to see it, so just put it up there.
I love that.
Oh,
what
wow.
a reverse
That is
psyop.
a power dad move.
So you just like, this is what we're doing. And, of course, mom's like, don't do that. That's going to embarrass the rest of her life. No, it's just us in the house. But she needs to understand that if she puts it out there, that's what's going to happen.
So it sounds like you have a parenting philosophy of allowing the hand to hit the hot frying pan every once in a while.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
kids, and that's important.
Yeah.
Maybe that makes them tough.
Well, I think it makes them aware, of what, if you can do it, that might happen. Just like our son, he had to learn because he went to a little private school, then he went to Morehouse, which was a culture shock. He had to find out because he was into quiche, then he got into grits. So it was just a whole different, he's like, Dad, these people are different. Yeah, they your people, but they different, right?
Fried food.
Yeah, so it was, I know Kamal.
Yeah.
Kamal's a doctor now. So it's a journey. It's a beautiful journey being a parent, but you have to be present because it goes by so fast.
Are you glad when they leave?
Yeah, but then you have a different kind of worry. Because then they're out drinking, they're out with their friends, they things could happen to them. You get a phone call, as soon as you look at the time right away, he's like, okay, and they got a certain dial. Our daughter got hit by a bicyclist in New York, broke her jaw.
Oof.
So you like
One of those it's a lot of the illegal immigrants running food around, right?
No, that's a lot. But in New York City, a lot of bicyclists, man.
Yeah. No, I'm shocked there's not like 3 of those people dead every day the way they're going up and down.
Oh yeah, the way they drive. Yeah, sorry, you a New York guy.
Yeah, I'm a New York guy. So that when you say Brooklyn and all that, the bicyclists are insane in New York. And it's not like here in California. There's a lot of bike lanes. It's a lot of space. They're not as crowded. There's no space in New York, but there's bike lanes everywhere. I mean, it's a game of Frogger every time you're out on the street.
Oh yeah, you learn how to ride a bike. Back east, you learn how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
There's no right of way. Just that's the beauty when you get confused when you come out to California. Like, oh, you're stopping for me? Okay, yeah, but it's a lot of fun. But you're gonna enjoy it though. You're gonna enjoy it. It's gonna make you.
Do you ever have to go fight with their teachers?
No, Mom, because Mom's.
Oh, you deploy her for that?
Yeah, we're going in uniform. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Uniform. Yeah, but you're gonna be everyone's gonna notice how different you are. They're gonna be like, okay, he's listening more. He's not which is a beautiful journey. They're gonna see a change in you.
Oh, you think?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a great. You're gonna have, especially since you got a good wife.
Yeah.
If you had a raggedy wife, it'd be.
It's the number one thing in your quality of life. I don't care who you are. If your wife is mean to you when you get home, your life can only be so happy. And if your wife is really nice to you, a lot of things can be going wrong otherwise, and there's still a pretty good existence that you're able to have.
Yeah, somebody in the house has to know how to season. That's
yeah. I do all the cooking.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, I do all the cooking. I do all the dishes. So, my wife does all the logistics. That's how we divide and conquer. But that's to me, the coolest thing about marriage is the specialization of skills. If you marry someone that fills your gaps and you fill theirs, you become a real power team.
Yeah, I'm the laundry guy. I do laundry.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I like laundry because you can do it at your pace. Watch TV, pause it, come back.
The problem is that the laundry war is a forever war. Mm-hmm. You're always battling it. You never win against the laundry.
Yeah.
It just it's like a regime change battle in the Middle East. It just drags on and there's way more blood than there should be. And there's chaos.
I wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah, man.
What when you were in that fight with McCarthy and them, were you, because you were the young gun, and were there any fears? Or did you just say,
Honestly, the biggest fear I had then and still have is the judgment of history if this country goes down because nobody was willing to make tough decisions about the way we spend money. And one day, people are going to look at the United States and they're going to say this was this great nation, the wealthiest, rising incomes, rising opportunity, like nowhere else on the planet ever. How did they lose it? And they're going to look at the people who are on the board of directors for the country, and my name's going to be on there. And the weight of that was prescient on me, and I still worry about it. And so I didn't care that and by the way, I just know they're all sellouts. When you have this kind of proximity with these people, not all, but the people who are trying to bully me, it's like, oh yeah, what, you're here because the Raytheon lobbyist sent you? Go screw yourself. Oh, you're worried that the speaker might not be able to attend your fundraiser if we don't install him and get some industry association to put $100,000 in your campaign? Cry me a freaking river.
Yeah, that was the thing we all took. And I was telling Vish this when we were watching you. And I'm saying this when the the regular people were watching you, like myself. We were like, okay, he knows some stuff that they're not telling us. He's on the inside, and he doesn't care. So it was kind of like it wasn't comedy, but it was kind of like I don't want to say Dave Chappelle, but whoever decided to say, this is the truth. Yeah. And I'm going to deal with it, whatever happens.
And I wish both sides would. Like, my critique of the institution isn't a partisan one, right? I'm not like, oh, it's all the Democrats' fault. That's what a lot of Republicans say. Democrats do the same thing. On both sides, you have a system where power is acquired through the trading of favors for ill-gotten money. Mm-hmm. And we deserve better than that from both sides. And it's why I had some like weird collaborations and friendships. When I first got there, I got along with AOC really well. And it was because even though we had wildly different worldviews, I knew she at least wasn't bought. I knew she wasn't doing what she was doing because there was a donor or a lobbyist pushing her that way. And so there were times like the progressive left and the populist right could work together on things like surveillance or stopping wars or like stopping the stock trading. Like when you allow Congress to trade stocks, it's like letting the referee bet on the basketball game. And I think there is like common ground for an agenda like that, but it will probably require some type of generational change in the country.
Now, I'm sorry to keep asking, but your father and grandfather, how were they? As far as
yeah, I mean,
watching you fight that fight.
Well, I never got to meet my grandfather. He passed before I was born. But I mean, the story I read about him when he was a mayor was that there were certain people in the railroad that wouldn't allow the Indians to work on the railroad. They had this racist view that they just shouldn't be eligible for those jobs. And my grandfather went and knocked out that superintendent for the railroad and insisted that those folks get an opportunity to earn. And that has always instilled in me a sense that the little guy deserves a champion too. And there are so many virtuous fights to be in, to deploy your talents to. My dad is a very sophisticated politician. He was the president of the Florida Senate. I come from a line of politicians, and I think he watched with pride, but also as someone trying to understand. This was something that had never happened in like 100 years in our country. And I think he was searching for understanding too. And there are just rare moments you get a chance to break through where eyes are on you and you get a chance to make your argument. And in those times, I didn't know if I was going to win or lose. There was a lot up in the air, but I at least wanted the country to hear what was wrong with the place. And I'm not going to be the guy to ultimately fix it, but I could at least provide that diagnosis in that moment.
Because I wonder why the powers that be don't allow us to know those little things about your dad, your grandfather. It's like, it's with all the stuff right there, that makes us look at you a little different. Because when I did my research, I'm like, all right, okay, that's a different Matt. Okay, that's Matt Gaetz. That's the whole thing. And the same thing with you. I looked at it, okay, because I just thought you were the thug in the blue suit.
That's actually what he was hoping.
That's exactly what I was going for, by the way. So it worked, apparently.
Yeah, but watching you two in your arenas, it was really interesting watching it.
You know what I wish they would let the cameras into the Congress to watch how the different members interact. Because under the rules of Congress, the camera can only be on that center podium and can't move. And on one pool. Well, when I was doing all that stuff with McCarthy, no rules had been adopted yet. So they could put the cameras everywhere. And so people were like, what was Matt Gaetz talking to Ilhan Omar about for 12 minutes? What were these people that have nothing to do with each other? And why was the Black Caucus huddled in this really intense conversation? And you got a wide lens of government in action, and they don't want, you know why they don't want it? Because most of the time the place is just empty. Most of the time folks are just talking to an empty room. No one's listening. All those things that you said make a successful marriage and parenting relationship and family, they don't really happen in our government.
Well, we enjoyed that part, the huddling, the talking, and you were the center of it. You were like, all right, they're going to start fighting.
Well,
it was cool. It was cool.
I could have taken that guy with the toupee, but that is all the time we have, Lewis. The hour flew by, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come visit with us. You are a true legend in the medium, and I know our audience will appreciate learning a little more about you. And I personally appreciate all the dad and parenting and husband advice.
Well, I appreciate you inviting me, you and Vish. It was, and shout out to your director and the producer. And it was a pleasure meeting you. I didn't even know you were at the show.
Yeah.
I knew you were, but I didn't know he was at the show. And I was like, okay, he got me. That's cool.
Oh, yeah, we definitely got you.
That's all you want. But no, I appreciate you.
Thank you. Feeling tired, foggy, or just low on energy. It might not be the stress. It could be you're running low on fuel. That's why more folks are turning to NAD Plus and methylene blue. As we get older, our cells slow down, but that doesn't mean you have to. These products are helping people boost their energy, clear out brain fog, and stay sharp. Now, you can get both NAD Plus and methylene blue from All Family Pharmacy. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Matt. It's the place I've been telling you about. They make it easy to get what you need without the usual runaround. They ship fast, they don't require insurance, and the doctor's prescription is included. It's where I go for essentials like ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, antibiotics, vitamins, travel kits, and more. All online, delivered to your door. Check it out, allfamilypharmacy.com/Matt. Use code MATT10 to save 10%. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Matt. Code MATT10. Stay sharp, stay strong, stay free. We'll be back next week.
Want to see more great videos like this? Click on the link below to subscribe to OAN Live and watch Dan Ball's Real America and The Matt Gaetz Show on Dish Channel 212. Tune in, subscribe, and watch today.
I'm so excited when we get our Merriweather Farms shipments in. You get a beautiful piece of ribeye. Look at that marbling. Now, I take it out of the package, let it get down to room temperature. All I've got on here is a little salt, a little pepper, and then a little avocado oil. And then I've had my pan preheating with a little oil.
Head to merriweatherfarms.com and enter promo code MATTG